What a tangled web we're weaving as far as the Arizona Cardinals quarterback position goes. As far as practice, status quo. It's Hulk, it's Boba Fett, and we're talking what's going on with this team, Johnny Venerable, heading into prime time.
Are we being lied to? Is Kyler Murray soft benched? What is going on? It's Halloween and PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. From Studio K, presented by our dear friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe, friends. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable in, not Studio K, but in full gear. There's Mr. Brack in the children's mask there, in his home studio, living large on Halloween. And of course, Noah Man behind the mic. In all seriousness, we appreciate everybody spending this Halloween Eve with all of us here at PHNX Cardinals, Bo.
Love to see it. Love to see Rudy Baby is headed to Dallas tomorrow, as am I. I'm headed there this weekend. Going to catch up with Bird Gang Travel. Brian, what's going on? Been a while. How about Deb? I see you. Sports Hero. Brian P. Isaac. We got Jacob, Miles, Mike, Tony. What's going on? Sag. We got Mike again. How about Tony Valentino in AZ? Love that. Snacks is here. The Art of Being Free. Jacob T. Darth Vader. Isaac. Animal TV. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on with my favorite team. Who's starting at quarterback? And happy Halloween to everybody. Of course, PHNX Cardinals on this Hallows Eve is brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365 and you get some nice little perks. How about you deposit $10, you bet $5, and you get $200 in bonus bets. That's going to keep you happy, and it's going to keep the Hulk, deep inside. It's not going to come at you and start smashing things.
Pause. PHNX Cardinals, hit that like button here. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We are just 3 days away from watching this team in action for the first time in 15 days. And while I thought this week could go, off without a hitch, everybody's refreshed, we're rejuvenated. After subsequently losing 5 in a row, this team has decided, nope, we're going to make things interesting in the worst possible way. Jacoby Brissett looks like he is in line, Bo, to be the starter once again. Let's just kind of backtrack here. Kyler Murray was all but announced by the national media, this show earlier this week, last week, that he was going to come back, rest up for Monday Night Football. Now you've got Kyler Murray in his 3rd week of practice, and they're putting him as limited, Bo.
Yeah.
And Jacoby Brissett continues to throw at the ones. I don't know how this is going to end, but all I know is Kyler Murray looks healthy to me. And yet the Cardinals seem very content on rolling with the veteran 32-year-old on Monday Night Football.
Johnny, to go with your costume, these aren't the droids we're looking for. The quarterback one we're looking for. Nailed it. Yeah, big Star Wars guy. This is the most head-scratching thing. Even the most tapped-in insiders in the NFL have no clue what's going on. Seems like Adam Schefter, I'm sure this is just putting his brain in a pretzel, because he's following the one-word answer from Jonathan Gannon yesterday about Kyler Murray. Is he preparing to start? And he just said, yeah. And then we proceed to see practice, and Kyler Murray is not throwing to the top playmakers in this offense. No, it continues to be Jacoby Brissett, who's had 2 pretty productive starts at the quarterback position. And then today, Johnny, I was out there, and it was about the status quo. Kyler Murray continues to throw to supplemental players, guys who are kind of supporting cast players out there, your Simi Fiocos, your Xavier Weavers. not the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s of this club, not Michael Wilson, not Zay Jones, not even a Greg Dortch. Kyler's not even able to light the Dortch in practice these days. That belongs to Jacoby Brissett.
It's very bizarre, about as bizarre as this show right now. I think there's a chance that Kyler Murray's played his last game with this team. I don't know, like, people publicly are saying, like, oh, Kyler Murray's foot, he's still limited. What the hell are you talking about? He played in a game in which he injured his foot and has been off for a month and has practiced for 3 weeks. It's like, I'm sorry. When a quarterback has a major injury that's going to keep him out a month, they'd put him on injured reserve. He certainly wouldn't be practicing. He's been practicing for 3 weeks in a row. They're not going to trot him out on Monday Night Football cold while throwing the backups all week. Like, this is, I'm not saying this is what I want to do. So let me preface this by stating my opinion. I would play Kyler Murray. I would have been a serious operation, Bo, this week and said, Kyler Murray's our guy. We're going to roll with him. We're excited about his return. This, to me, walk me off the fanboy ledge here. This, to me, feels like a soft benching because you and I both know and have felt this mindset for a while. Jacoby Brissett is going to play well on Monday Night Football. Like, the Dallas defense is terrible. You're going to have another quality outing, we assume, from Jacoby Brissett. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to play Kyler Murray cold after missing 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and play him against Seattle in Seattle? There's no way they do that.
Right.
This feels like Jacoby Brissett en route to about 320 and a couple touchdowns, and either they're going to have to announce it Tuesday. I don't know what's going to happen, but like, if they were committed to Kyler Murray, I think you would have seen a different approach this week. I don't believe what anybody's saying. And listen, you got John Gambadaro, locally, Bo's favorite, saying that, oh, they're not going to trade Kyler and that this is based on Kyler's health. And I'm like, come on. The Cardinals, and rightfully so, are keeping this very close to the vest.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they saw the improvements in the offense. They saw the fit with Jacoby and Drew, and Jonathan is very clear. He's rolling with Drew Petzing. This feels like Kyler Murray's soft benching to me.
Yeah, you guys are crushing in the chat. Hit that like button. Does wonders for us. Glad you're trying to take us seriously as we are wearing our Halloween masks and having a very serious conversation about the Cardinals' franchise quarterback position in year 7. You know, is this the end of the road for Kyler Murray? And it's strange. Like, to kind of add another question to it, Johnny, and it might have been included in your synopsis of it. Did they get cold feet at 2-5 during the bye week from the Schefter report the Saturday night before Jacoby Brissett's latest start, game 2 of his 2 starts here, and Adam Schefter saying Kyler Murray's plan is to come back Monday Night Football? And then they just look at the tape. Did they look at the disparity between Jacoby starts and Kyler starts and how the offense and how it produced? And then they just say, we're 2-5. We're feeling the heat finally, even though they probably should have felt it a couple of weeks ago, and that this is our best chance going forward. We got to optimize our offense going up against this terror of a Dallas Cowboys offense, and we got to be able to keep pace. And the best quarterback that gives us that chance is Jacoby Brissett.
It's like Jacoby Brissett has been throwing to the one. Like, I don't believe for a second that Jacoby Brissett is not throwing to the ones when the closed portion of practice happens. Like, the Cardinals have done this for the better part of a month, Bo. It's like Jacoby Brissett, Monday through Friday, is throwing with the ones in public practice and in private practice because he started those 2 games. And then Jacoby Brissett, meets with the media. And if the Cardinals wanted to throw water on this, think about this. If you had confidence in your quarterback mirroring your offensive system, meaning Kyler Murray, and you're going up against Dallas, who is just horrific defensively, how do you not just come out this week and say, Kyler's feeling good. Our plan is to start him. Hopefully he has a good week of practice. You don't screw around. He's throwing to the ones. He meets with the media. You talk about the importance of these 10 games for the short term and the long term. And he's just like, okay, Kyler Murray's going to start. By doing all of this, They are opening themselves up to criticism. They are. That can't be disputed. And every single national person, that's why I just, with respect to, local media reporters saying one thing, everybody nationally, everybody, fantasy football enthusiasts, everybody is just like, this feels like a soft benching. This feels like the Cardinals want to give Jacoby Brissett another chance to play well. And like, Bo, we've said it all week. If Jacoby Brissett plays well, he's going to continue to start. Now, I'm not here to say like they could go back to Kyler Murray in like a month from now if Jacoby turns into a pumpkin. Like, I think that's an option. But I also feel like the damage is going to be done at that point. Like if you're openly saying like, yeah, Kyler Murray, even at 95%, we're going to go with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, like at that point, it's just like, is this salvageable? It's not. But to your point, I think it reigns true. They are feeling the pressure of needing to win games. Good, they should, because they've sleptwalked through 7 weeks of the season. And instead of like, hey, let's bench Jonah Williams, it's now like we're soft benching Kyler Murray. Like, I don't know how anybody can argue with that. Like, Kyler Murray looks fantastic in practice. He's looked healthy for the better part of 2 weeks. We were told he almost could have played against the Colts almost a month ago. And what did he do? Like, I know it's tough to trust this team with injuries right now, but like, save for like, oh, he re-aggravated his foot, which he wouldn't be practicing if that's the case.
Right.
I mean, like, I'm open to different interpretations from the chat, other people that want to join our show. Like, I'm not saying this for like clickbait. I'm saying like, how is this not a soft benching?
Yeah, the only thing that maybe could poke holes into your theory here, and some could call it a conspiracy theory, because, this is some tinfoil hat stuff, especially when you start to bring in, what's the next step here. But as we keep it, on the first step, as far as who starts and who doesn't, and if Kyler is clean bill of health or close to it, is if the decision was made to go with Jacoby Brissett, do you expect Kyler Murray to go silently into the night, to just accept his role?
Right.
Just go to practice and throw to guys lower on the depth chart and not say anything to get Wally pipped by Jacoby Brissett in this situation? Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, you think Kyler Murray, who during his contract negotiations, his representation more so was pretty loud as far as how they negotiated that contract. Do you think that Kyler Murray would keep quiet and just be, a good soldier in this situation? He would just say, you know what, Jacoby has been the best guy, and I'm just going to have to prove it when I get my opportunity again.
I have no idea. Like, I am done kind of guessing how this franchise is operating, because with all due respect to everybody involved, like, it's hard to trust people right now. Like, the BJ Ojulari situation has come out. Weinfuss of ESPN reported that Ojulari told people, like, he blew out his like kneecap in June, had to have a cleanup surgery, and like no one knew about that. And so people are just assuming that he had a setback, and then the organization says he didn't have a setback. Like, I think it's pretty crazy that Kyler Murray has been I've never seen a starting quarterback. Can you remember this? I'm going to ask everybody. Have you ever seen a starting quarterback practice for 3 weeks? Like, it's not quite like, he's not like minimal practice, like limited. You're still practicing. Mm-hmm. Plenty of guys are limited. They practice the following Sunday. He's been limited for 3 weeks with a bye week included. So 4 weeks, and he's not going to play. That's nuts. I've never recalled that. Like, Lamar Jackson's limited this week. He plays, right? Rallies and plays. Most of the time, it's like guy is questionable, doubtful. They miss practice like 3 of the 4 days, and they miss the game, right? Like, I feel like the Cardinals are kind of having their cake and eat it too, where it's like, hey, Kyler, take a seat this week. Get that foot rested up. We're going to go with Jacoby Brissett another week. I don't know how they handle it. If Kyler's like, no, I'm ready to play. I'm adamant. I want to play this week. I mean, do you think there's a chance Kyler Murray plays Monday night?
I think there's still a possibility. Tomorrow morning is the final practice of the week, as it's a strange week with the game being on Monday. We're going to have to see how the reps are divvied up. We're going to have to see, and I know people might roll their eyes at this and say we're not going to get anything from Gannon. We'll see what he says. If it's similar as most of this week has been to, and all signs are pointing back to Jacoby Brissett, like, I think I could accept that. Keaton Slovis remains on the roster,
right?
There is a good possibility they can make him inactive again. But like the next 48 hours on this thing, like there could be a lot revealed as we try to figure things out. Now, I think, Johnny, as we continue this conversation, people can once again, we're going to show you Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett here in a second, and continue this conversation. Who starts Monday Night Football? Is it a soft benching for Kyler Murray? Does Jacoby Brissett get his second straight start? Also, we got our full predictions, key players to this game that we got to get to. It's all coming up, PHNX Cardinals.
But first, I just dropped a tasty little 3-leg parlay that's hitting the Twitter streets this coming Sunday, because while the Cardinals continue to disappoint, Bet365, they're never letting us down. Scan that QR code. New customers with Bet365 getting $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. Again, all you got to do a $10 deposit with the PHNX 365 bonus code. And again, you're getting those bonus bets to use on anything and everything, from spreads, totals, player props, futures, whatever you need. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located in the great state of Arizona. How about this right now, the early payout offer, NFL and college football. You're going to need it. Some of these games, crooked numbers galore. I saw something where favorites have been paying out almost 20-1 lately in the NFL, Bo. Just outright money line favorites. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more information.
As much as we like to dress up on Halloween, we also like to wear our best on top of our head. We like to find the nicest lids out there. One that could elevate your brand. It's no more about just repping your favorite team. You can rep you, your company, your co-ed softball team, your kids' Little League team, whatever it may be. Branded Bills is the premium headwear and apparel that you're going to want to turn to. Now, it feels like, hey, this is an international company. Now, it's grassroots right in our backyard in Mesa, Arizona, but man, they are going worldwide. They have partnerships with 40 universities, including ASU, U of A, part of their campus collection. Maybe your alma's somewhere else. I'm sure they've got the campus collection for you. Also, they're partnered with the Phoenix Suns, and you can see them. I was out there, going to see nieces, nephews, Little League games, and they're all over the place. You can find that BB on the side of almost every other hat that you see. For me, it's every hat. Love to see the BB. Love the comfort, different styles that they have, from truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees. Get yourself Branded Bills right now, brandedbills.com, and use the code BBPHNX right now for 15% off your first order. That's BBPHNX at brandedbills.com for 15% off.
Man, oh man, this it's a dicey situation. And again, I think you're in a position right now, if you're Jonathan Gannon, where I do think clarity is important, but doesn't it feel like, Bo, right now they have a little bit of us against the world mentality, even with their own fan base. I think they've broken some trust. I think that's fair, and we love JG, but they've broken some trust with the injury timeline. We're not really sure what they're doing with the injury to Kyler Murray. They have not come out and said their intentions, and it feels like right now, for a team that's lost 5 in a row, they're trying to be the most interesting 5-2 team, or 2-5 team. When in all reality, I think a lot of people are just kind of rolling their eyes at this operation. Like serious franchises, serious operations don't try to play these kind of mind games. It's like Mac Jones is starting. We know that because Kyle Shanahan said it, right? Andy Reid, those kind of coaches come out and are very forthright with injuries. I think the Cardinals, they may have the best intentions in mind for competitive advantage. I just think it's backfiring this year. Yeah,
I mean, they're stepping in it every step of the way. They can't get out of the way of themselves, and the worst part of it is the 5-game skid.
Yeah,
but you don't help yourself in any way. The most levity that we've experienced in the last 5 weeks was something that we're doing on the show right now when Budda Baker did his press availability today in a mask. Outside of that, there hasn't been any good back and forth. There hasn't been anything that people can stomach, as far as trying to create positive vibes out of a bad situation. It's just been so against the grain and amplified by losing week in and week out and haven't won a football game since September 14th. I mean, the Diamondbacks have a more recent win than the Arizona Cardinals, and they haven't played in a month and a half. It's just nothing when you're trying to do something your own way, where it's just different than the rest of the 31. You got to do it when you're winning. When you're not, you have to fall in line. And when your starting quarterback might not play for a third straight game, like there should be a little bit of transparency, because right now you're 0-2 by you trying to use that card, play that card, where like you see, more successful organizations like Shanahan realizes that you're not going to be crushed if, he announces that Mac Jones is starting on Friday for a game on Sunday. People will appreciate that type of transparency.
Yep, there's just too much losing associated with this franchise. Like if you're winning, you can go up there and be like the adult's character from the Peanuts show and just romp, 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 romp. You can do that for a half an hour and we're good with it. If it means that every Sunday there's an expectation that you're putting a winning product on the field. I mean, they're 14-27 in this regime. They're 2-5 right now. It's like they're 0-2 after a bye with this regime. And it's like, let's play patty cake with the quarterback situation. Let's push media availability.
It's not even that. It's not even just that, though, Johnny. I mean, as you mentioned with the ESPN report, Josh Weinfuss is right there. I mean, after Ojulari met with the media, Weinfuss followed up as far as the specifics on his ligaments, and then also Josh had the extra as far as was it the subluxation of his kneecap?
Yeah,
which is not great. It's an old injury that he had cleaned up. And I don't know if that's just how you can kind of avoid it, having to kind of disclose that, because it didn't necessarily have to do with the ligament tears that he suffered in training camp in 2024. So it's to sidestep that, but still like just creating more and more evidence that the fan base can't trust anything you say, and that's really unfortunate because when you got past, when people wanted to crush Gannon at the very jump because they thought him as kind of inauthentic and maybe over enthusiastic and the pew, pew, pew and shots, explosives, once you realize that this guy seemed like he was genuine and he had this enthusiasm and he wanted to bring the juice day in and day out, but then you try to just get a straight answer as far as, hey, is this guy coming back at any time this season? Like any kind of information, and it's just shut down. And then like details emerge where it was even more complex and severe than that. Like people lose an immense amount of trust, if not all.
It's like, I wonder, because Gannon's, I feel like sometimes he's pretty forthright and people are going to jump all over me. Like there is a conservative effort to withhold information. And I don't think that can be argued, but we've seen Gannon like stumble across information maybe he was told not to give out, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Is this coming from Monti Ossenfort, famously, who worked under the Belichick dynasty? And it's like, well, we talked about that. Bill's act ran stale, and he got his ass fired because why? Because he stopped winning games. And suddenly the shtick and his press conferences, they weren't, cliche classic Bill. It was like, hey, this guy's a big time loser without Tom Brady. And suddenly the pressers seemed kind of effed up. I appreciate Monti Ossenfort and the culture that he's trying to change, but this is not a winning formula. You need to rethink this. If this regime is brought back in 2026, if Gannon and Ossenfort are fortunate enough to keep their jobs, and I hope they do, I hope they figure this out.
Yeah.
This needs to be remedied. You need to have a conversation. And again, I would give this feedback to Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon if we have an opportunity to connect with them again. This isn't helping anybody. The Dallas Cowboys defense with Matt Eberflus is looking at tape from Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett. Come on. It is what it is. They're looking at tape the last 2 weeks of Jacoby, and if Kyler plays, they're going to be looking at tape from earlier this year. Your product is not good enough for this kind of messaging. Your defense has collapsed in the fourth quarter. Your offense with Kyler Murray has been bad this year.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're going to keep this secretive because we have a game plan and we have a competitive advantage. It's like, when is that going to I'd love for that to translate to wins. I'd love to be able, for my team to be able to celebrate a win for the first time since, what'd you say, mid-September?
Yeah, September 14th.
It's like, hey, guys, this is, I don't know what the end game here is, because right now the end game is they're all going to be fired. Like, this is all going to be for naught. And then, you know what's going to be doubly tough? If you're trying to read your resume from your 3 years here to another owner or GM, and you're saying, like, this is how we operate. And it's just like, that was weird when you guys were kind of screwing around with Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett, and then you weren't forthright about injuries. Like, this stuff gets around. I just, they're hurting themselves. And again, I'm not coming from a place of like being a hater or, you know, throwing dirt. I'm just like, hey guys, I want you to do well. I want good things for you. Stop doing this. This isn't helping anybody.
Yeah. You want, like, help yourself here. You want them to help themselves. Like, do yourself a favor and don't put yourself in, you know, place for scrutiny, especially when you're facing a sixth straight loss. You know, that's more scrutiny. You don't need that, like, because, you know, ultimately you're going to be judged on wins and losses.
Right.
But in an entertainment business where people are just tuned out to the messaging, where that used to be like kind of what people were, you know, brought back for, like after, you know, Cliff Kingsbury, and it felt like he had lost that locker room, and this organization was a rudderless ship, and, you know, Keim and unceremoniously fallen out of favor for many years before he even exited the organization. Like, JG and Monty and their direction and the culture that they created, it was celebrated here. And like we've talked about it before, the way, like, their fall from grace just based on these last 6 weeks, it's almost like you're gonna have to study this. It's been like so unbelievable to me, but it's just like misstep here, along with losing games. And
it's a catastrophic fall from grace, Bo.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how else can you put it? If they lose Monday, it's a catastrophic fall from grace for a franchise that seemingly had their act together. Bo, let's go ahead and narrate these Kyler Murray highlights here.
Yeah, I had to take my mask off. It's just pummeling my nose, but you can stay in costume. But let's get to it. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett led off drills. There he is throwing an MHJ. Then he stayed up, hit Michael Wilson. We at least saw Kyler throw to Michael Wilson a little bit earlier this week. Not the case today. There's him hitting Simi Fioco. Back to Jacoby, and Jacoby's to Zay Jones. Kyler's to Xavier Weaver here. And you'll see just Jacoby to Greg Dortch. Then you got him throwing back to MHJ. More Jacoby because it's MHJ, Zay Jones, Michael Wilson in the rotation. Kyler zipping it here. That's more Xavier Weaver. You just know, like, there's just nobody that you could say, hey, these guys are on the field to start games for the Cardinals. These guys aren't complimentary players or play a supplemental role. Where Brissett just throwing to their, you know, top playmakers, it really feels like. That was a rough ball there. Ground ball. There's Jacoby, you know, getting back on track to Dortch down the field to there's the first pass. You'll see him throw to Fioco, but you just never see Kyler get back and throw to the guys that you're used to seeing him throw to.
Gannon talks tomorrow. Are you expecting an announcement tomorrow?
I think it's possible. I mean, I think that there's been such traction on this that it, you know, either it's just so matter of fact that it's Jacoby, but it's probably a coin flip. Like, either he announces Jacoby's making the start and they'll continue under the guys that maybe Kyler isn't healthy yet, or, you know, I'd be shocked to hear like Kyler Murray starting this game, because that would be the ultimate smokescreen. And then like
that's dumb because you wasted this week. What?
Well, I mean, you wasted like the open portion of practice. Let's be realistic.
Well, but they didn't make him available in the media. That's dumb. People.
Well, he still has well, we will talk to a quarterback at the very least tomorrow, whether it's Kyler at the podium or whether it's Jacoby more realistically at his locker.
Man, I wanted to believe that they had their act together, and this makes them feel like such small timers. Guys, come on. We want it for you. Give me a percentage. I'm going to put Bo on the spot here. And if you can't answer this, that I understand. What is the percentage that you believe that they are going to roll with Jacoby Brissett because they feel like he gives them the best chance to win, and that Kyler Murray is healthy enough to play.
I think there's a sense of conviction with Jacoby Brissett, even if, regardless of what the situation is. I think they truly do believe he's a guy that is a fringe starter, could start elsewhere in this league. So as far as that goes, and just the proof of performance is there. As far as them just saying, hey, this is our better option, and this is what we have to ride this hot hand. Man, I don't know, because I think there's a lot of different people at play here. Like you got the head coach, I think you got the GM, you've got ownership, you've got the OC, you've got the playmakers. You know, who's more heavily involved in the offense when one quarterback's in versus the other. So, in a long-winded answer, man, I don't know. I can't put a percentage on that. I don't think. I think that they have so many kind of crutches that they can lean on that they don't have to definitively say that.
Yeah, I am fed up, Sports Hero. I'm fed up with this garbage. Pick a lane.
Where do you feel like? Where do you feel on that?
I do think that, based on some things that you and I have heard, that they really liked how Jacoby operated from the pocket. Mm-hmm. And they really liked his ability to work off of play action.
Right.
And I'm just going to pose something to the collective here. We got 300 watching live on Halloween. God bless you all. You guys are fantastic. Hit that like button. If you're Drew Petzing and it's clearly not working with you and Kyler Murray, and you're still enabled, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, who do you want to start? If you have the ear of the head coach, if you're Drew Petzing, hey, JG, look at our offense with Jacoby. If Drew, this is fair for Drew Petzing, I'm trying to remain employed. I'm trying not to get fired.
Yeah.
Who do you think Drew Petzing's lobbying for right now? Probably not going to be Kyler Murray, because they're oil and water right now with what they were able to do together. It was I'll come out and say, like, that's been a failure. The two of them together. It's not like they're the worst team in the NFL. It looks like Tua and Mike McDaniel right now. About one touchdown, one interception a week, 200 yards passing, taking some sacks. It's just like, okay, so here's Drew's potential get out of jail free card. Okay, well, everybody thinks I'm getting my walking papers in January. I need to be able to sell Jacoby Brissett. So here's what we know. JG has immense amount of respect for Drew. JG is not an offensive guy. He has leaned on Drew, especially with the absence of Clayton Adams. Is it crazy to say, like, this is potentially Drew's decision, or he's got a big piece of this? I think we're trending certainly toward Kyler Murray being off this team next year. I think by default he's missed too much time. Like all the parameters that we had set before the year, they needed to win. He needed to play every game. He needed to be great. Like, we're not checking any of those boxes. So fair or not, like, I think Kyler Murray is going to be traded right now, tomorrow, in the offseason at some point.
Yeah.
So like, if that's the mindset that you're operating with, and oh, by the way, you suddenly have to win games to be able to sustain this and save your jobs.
Yeah.
I think just say it out loud. I just feel like, let's get that graphic up. Again, I am not saying, look at this. I am not saying that Kyler Murray is not better than Jacoby Brissett. I think Kyler Murray is. Kyler Murray with like Kevin O'Connell or Sean McVay or Matt LaFleur, like, I think is better than Jacoby Brissett. But if I'm dealt the hands, no pun intended, dealt the deck of cards of Drew Petzing as my offensive coordinator, like, how do you argue with this against the Colts, who are the number one seed in the AFC, and the Packers, who are arguably the number one seed in the NFC? And he's the number one third down quarterback in the NFL. They have these numbers. They watch the film. I think for this week, this is more fog, smoke, soft benching. His foot, oh no, his foot hurts. We're going to roll with Jacoby. Jacoby's one game away, playing well, and especially if he wins, I think this is his job. I think this is Jacoby's job until he has a bad game.
Yeah, you have to wonder how you prioritize things. And I see it as you would prioritize winning football games first and foremost, right? Because that's going to be able to extend your stay here in Arizona, keep people employed, right? But then you also have to understand this asset that you have in Kyler Murray. And, if this is a soft benching and we see very little to none of Kyler Murray the rest of the way, he goes by the way of Russell Wilson in the Broncos. What happened there? It plummeted Russell Wilson's stock, like so much.
Right.
They released him and they had to absorb a ton of dead cap. And like the release first trade numbers and dead cap, like it's pretty significant for the Arizona Cardinals as far as next offseason goes. So I know like number one priority is to get this thing back on the tracks and win football games. But if you tank this asset completely, the ramifications of that are also going to be very, very severe.
Noah, if we could, let's get Let's get a poll. This thing's crushing my face and my brain. We'll get a poll here on Halloween. Are the Arizona Cardinals soft benching Kyler Murray in favor of Jacoby Brissett? We will read the results. Anybody can vote in a poll. Hit that like button. We're going to keep things moving here. And as we look ahead, we'll just make our predictions right now. I expect Jacoby Brissett to start. Bo, do you?
I do as well. I mean, that's just what the evidence is. If you're talking to a jury of 12 people, or we're doing it to 300 right now, you look at the evidence as far as how they've prepared this week. And Kyler Murray remains limited on the injury report, and there was a surprise addition as well to that you'll see here in a bit. It would point to Jacoby making a third straight start, which is another thing that we've talked about on this show is regardless of who the quarterback is, like they're going to be poised to put up good numbers. Like We're going to have a third, more likely than not, we're going to have a third solid, productive day from Jacoby Brissett. It could be, in a third straight loss with Brissett, at QB1. But, just the Cowboys defense giving up 2.5 passing touchdowns per game, the quarterback they face, and, a ton of passing yards to them. It's just Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, here they are right now. I mean, 273 through the air on average, 2.5 touchdowns on average to opposing quarterbacks. I mean, MVP type stuff for whoever is the opposing quarterback against Dallas week in and week out. So that's why it's like, instead of a soft benching, you would have thought, hey, this is a soft relaunch for Kyler Murray to be able to, have
perfect landing spot.
Right. Perfect landing spot where the following week, that if you do survive in advance, it gets more complicated because you're going up against that tough Seattle defense in that, in front of their hostile environment in week 10.
Here's the injury report. An unfortunate addition here. Will Johnson suddenly limited with that groin that kept him out. You hope he plays. Then there's also Zay Jones with a knee. Zay Jones has been a nice addition to this passing game with Jacoby Brissett. And then, of course, we expect Walter Nolan to make his NFL debut on Monday Night Football. B.J. Ojulari needs, at minimum, I think, 2 more weeks. And then Garrett Williams we expect to play. What's the status of Will Johnson, Bo? How serious is that injury, if you can even project it with this franchise?
Right. I mean, this is a guy that we saw, earlier in practice during the open portion. It looked fine. Maybe it's just something that popped up, during the closed portion. Couldn't tell you. But it is the same injury or area that he was dealing with that kept him out. That is concerning. And it's just like, you're getting closer and closer to getting, relatively full strength. Garrett Williams, I know his window's open. He's not officially active, but he looks like he's trending towards playing. It's just like one guy is back and then another guy goes out. It's like, when are you going to get to full strength again? So at Jacobs, just full caps mode, please let Sub-Zero play. You need all hands on deck as far as this passing attack, because it's not just CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, it's Ferguson, and it's, they're supporting cast like Dak Prescott is going to throw it all over the yard, regardless if you're at full strength. You just can't stand to be undermanned against this passing attack.
Let's jump into our predictions for players of the game as the Arizona Cardinals travel to Dallas. Their first game, they'll have had 15 days off since losing at home against the Green Bay Packers, in which they had another fourth quarter lead, Bo. I'll kick things off here. Arizona Cardinals on the road. I like Trey McBride, especially if Jacoby Brissett's playing. Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride, there's a connection there, Bo. 3 touchdowns in 2 games. Kyler Murray and Trey McBride, I think, together have a total of 3 touchdowns in double-digit games played together. So, again, I think Trey is going to eat against this fraud Dallas defense. Terrible safeties, terrible off-ball linebackers. I expect Marvin, the receivers, to do well as well. But I think the Cardinals, if they give Jacoby enough time, he's going to be firing on all cylinders. And I'm gonna roll the dice that Sub-Zero plays. I think they know the severity of this defense and how susceptible they've been to playmakers, and they need their trio of corners to be ready to go against the likes of George Pickens and, of course, CeeDee Lamb. So you would assume Garrett Williams, Jalen Thompson will take on CeeDee Lamb, and I like George Pickens against Will Johnson. I think that's a good matchup. And then the X factor for this game, like Michael Carter, and here's another thing this team's doing that is just befuddling and dumb, frankly, is Michael Carter was cut and then re-signed to the practice squad, and he's running with the ones at practice. It's like, what are we doing here? Bam Knight's been their most effective running back since Trey Benson and certainly James Conner have been out. And then you think about it, DeMercado has been limited. I mean, like, Bam Knight, I don't know. I don't know what the benefit of this is. Like, hey, this guy's cut. Just psych. Just kidding. He's on the practice squad. Just kidding. He's a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Give Bam Knight the football. He's been easily their best runner.
Yeah. Matt Eberflus's head is spinning, trying to keep up with all this. It's really kind of fascinating. Like when I look across, I just use like whatever you use, like whether it's ESPN or Yahoo or Sleeper app, just look at the different fantasy defenses and how they do against certain position groups. And it's like Dallas gives up by far the most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Oh, by the way, the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position too. How do they do against running backs? 3rd most points to running backs per week. Just an atrocious. The only one is they give up the 12th fewest fantasy points to the tight end position, but we still know like Trey McBride is a matchup issue. It doesn't matter who he's facing. So I like McBride, and the 2 touchdowns that he had last week. I was looking at it, the most touchdowns surrendered on the Dallas defense, and it is against safeties and linebackers like Kenneth Murray and some guys out there like Donovan Wilson have been targeted in the red zone. So I like your picks, but I am going to lean into the quarterback wide receiver connection here. Staying with, like, if it is Jacoby Brissett, like I know Marvin Harrison Jr. still hasn't, like, we still have issues as far as targets. Need to see more targets for Marvin Harrison Jr. But man, is this as conducive as it gets for a wide receiver to maybe get on track and be targeted early and often? Now, like the other guys I considered for this, Johnny, as far as my top offensive pick, were their wide receivers. Like, I think Zay Jones was my next best option, just how he's been able to take advantage, like 60, 70-yard performances in back-to-back games with Jacoby Brissett. I like what I've seen from Michael Wilson, who's been more around like the 40-yard receiving yards with Brissett in there, but still you've seen him come alive after being like dead in the water for the first couple weeks of the season. But I like MHJ in this game, and then defense and my X factor. I'm going with a couple guys that aren't even on the active roster right now. I've got Garrett Williams, who I think that he was looking good in practice and is trending towards playing and being active in the next couple hours, days maybe before the game. I think him playing slot corner going up against CeeDee is going to be so, crucial for if they're going to get off the field. And then my X factor is another guy who's coming off an injury list in PUP. I think Walter Nolan does get activated and makes his debut Monday night, and in limited snaps, makes us kind of remember why the Cardinals took him 16th overall.
Love that. Love those predictions. I'm excited. Like, this week should be about like, hey, clean slate. Kyler's back. Walter Nolan's playing. Let's be fired up. Ojulari's practicing. And instead it's like, hey, let's be sneaky and let's put out, conflicting narratives and let's falsely, lie about some stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. No, I do like your game predictions, especially
I don't.
Let's
These
see
are
it.
so dumb. I will warn. Yeah, this is dumb. Take this off the screen. Nobody wants to see this kind of nonsense.
Oh, it's good. On offense, we got Slovis because I think the Cardinals' secret game plan at running back is to just throw him in there, see what he can do at that spot.
No,
defense.
Can I interrupt here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kedon Slovis in this picture looks like a guy dressed as a football player for Halloween.
Yeah, yep. He's our new running back, I think. And then defense, Cody Simon. Will he play on defense? I don't know, but hey, special teams, throw him in there. He's doing good. And then we got Aaron Brewer as the X factor because I just really like this picture.
He's just waving. He's like, "Hey, we're down by 14, everyone."
Woo!
Hey, we've lost 5 in a row.
He also looks like a guy dressed as a
everybody.
football player. He looks like Ted Lasso football crossover there.
Hit that like button. We're back with our official game predictions plus your super chats. It's PHNX on a spooky Halloween episode.
There's nothing spooky about this.
I'll tell you what. I may be rocking my Boba Fett mask, but I'd rather be rocking some Mack Weldon gear. Hello, because I'm over Halloween and I'm ready for relaxation time here in the holiday season with some of the most breathable pieces that you can find. Mack Weldon's got button-ups, they've got shirts, shorts crafted with that lightweight linen blend. It's elite, frankly. I've got several dress shirts, not many leather-bound books, but I do have a very nice hooded sweatshirt from our friends at Mack Weldon. They're frankly, their clothes designed to fit your style. If you like my style, you'll like Mack Weldon's. Trust me. They look like regular clothes because they are, but they've got that latest modern comfort for over 10 years. Mack Weldon is designed, is timeless, frankly, innovative menswear to help you move throughout the day with confidence. If you're ever just like, hey, I don't want to buy my clothes at a children's store, I don't want graphic tees, I just want grown adult man clothes that look nice and feel comfortable, Mack Weldon's got you covered. I'm a big boy now because of Mack Weldon. Get breathable clothes right now. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order. That's Mack Weldon, 25% off with a purchase of over $125 or more using the bonus code PHNX. That's Mack Weldon, MackWeldon.com, promo code PHNX.
It's going back for seconds at MackWeldon.com today.
Ooh.
Using that promo code. Also, talking about great businesses, how about great banking with our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union? Get some perks from your checking account. No longer just pay that monthly service fee any longer. Get the actual perks. Everyone needs a checking account. Get one with built-in benefits from Mountain America Credit Union. Mountain America's My Style checking account has the perks just for you. How about restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Required insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no-cost registration activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Once again, make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Boba Fett.
We're bringing the boom here on this Halloween. Hit that like button. Become a member via the Supporters Club. That's what we should have been. Big AJ and Big Justice here. That would have been fantastic. Everybody hit that like button. Do us a favor. We know you got trick-or-treating on deck. So
give us a little treat. A little treat here on the YouTube streets. Just
a little treat for your boys.
Yeah.
Let's jump in game predictions now. I painted myself into a corner before the Cardinals dicked around all week. I said that I would pick the Cardinals regardless. So here I am. Let's kick things off. I'm going to pick them 30-27. I am going to go with Jacoby Brissett plays well, and we've got a big mess on our hands. But Gannon and Ossenfort get their wish. They live to see another day, at least for another week. Dallas, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride receiving touchdowns en route to their first 30-burger of the year, Bo.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the defensive stops that it would be necessary to get to pull off this dub. I'm going to let Noah go real quickly so we can just forget it. Maybe I can wash that taste out of everybody's mouth. Ridiculous, just Photoshop here.
Well, it's
Dalton.
Yeah, yep. That's my Halloween costume this year, and that's an actual picture of me as well. Took way back in '83. Game prediction: we got 41-41. We're gonna tie because I think that would be maybe the worst outcome we could hope for.
You're just wishing all sorts of evil on, even more so on this franchise. Award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's right.
Let's move on to mine more realistically. Yeah, I got to see the defense get off the field, and we've seen a lot of good offenses, and they've had their way down the stretch against the Cardinals on defense. And until I see different, I can't predict otherwise. 31-27, I got the Cowboys at home beating the Cardinals. It makes me sick. It makes me sick that, Noah painted me in that Cowboys blue too.
You picked them.
I feel really ill. I feel sick to my stomach.
They lose this game with Kyler, without Kyler. Stick a fork in them. They're donezo. You lose 6 in a row.
Like Kyler's not gonna. I mean, maybe he is behind the scenes. It doesn't seem like it. If he is, he's keeping a good public, just kind of persona or view of him. As I see him out on the practice field, looks like a good teammate. I've seen him moving around the facility. It doesn't seem disgruntled or anything like that. Going to his home state, nearby Dallas. For him, we're a place that he's dominated in his entire football career, pro and amateur, that he wouldn't say, I need to start this game. It's puzzling to me.
Something doesn't smell right. And I think if Jacoby Brissett plays Monday night, regardless of what people may or may not say and have already said, I think you watch the trade deadline closely on Tuesday.
I don't think that's a possibility.
I think you're dead wrong, my brother. I think if Kyler Murray is a healthy bench scratch, unless he has some kind of reoccurring foot injury or something they're not telling us, if Kyler Murray's foot is okay and he does not play Monday night, you're going to sit there and tell me that they're not going to shop him at the trade deadline? You've already made a decision to not play him.
Like that's so unprecedented at that position.
All their actions are unprecedented, I would argue.
Yeah, no, I mean that's accurate.
No one else does these things. No one else is operating this way. I mean, I don't know. It takes two to tango. They'd have to get a partner. They'd have to get back ample draft capital. But how do you navigate the notion that my quarterback is healthy, the backup is playing better, we need to save our jobs, we're going to play the backup to save our jobs, but we also don't want to make it seem like we're benching the starter because we need to be able to equip something or secure a trade package in return? I mean, I would argue this is unprecedented territory where you've got a third-year regime trying to save face, an owner that didn't want to sign the contract to begin with, a quarterback that was solid but not great at the beginning of the year, not his fault, extenuating circumstances, and a backup that's a better fit for the offense you want to run, a movable contract. I mean, it just anybody who's saying, "Hey, this is fine, everything's fine, Kyler will be back, trade deadline, don't mind it any matter." You haven't been watching the NFL. This is the NFL.
I mean, we've seen Sean Payton hated Russell Wilson's guts. And they didn't even entertain trading.
Well, nobody wanted him at that point. I think Kyler's a much more attractive piece than Russell.
Wilson wasn't playing his worst football. He's gotten far worse since. Statistically, he wasn't that bad. I mean, I know he's a lot of people deem him insufferable, and I get that. And then you also had the Kirk Cousins situation. Kirk Cousins still not traded. I don't know. I think it's a little bit more tougher. Like NFL trades, I know they're becoming more of a thing, especially at the deadline. And the deadline's forecasted by multiple analysts and pundits. It's going to be crazier than ever. But a quarterback being dealt at, that's still something that hasn't happened. I won't believe it till I see it.
All right, let me ask you this. Jacoby plays Monday, okay? He plays well, win or lose, which we both expect. When do we see Kyler Murray again? Based on your thought process right now.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. That would be 3 productive starts from the offense, and people are going to say, well, he hasn't won yet. The stats disparities too damning. You probably get, because Seattle could be a really tough performance for whoever, potentially like the following week in some capacity.
Kyler's worst games, you could argue, of his career come against Aaron Donald and then obviously Seattle with Leonard Williams and interior defensive line pressure. Like, we know that. The Cardinals know that. I don't think, regardless if they trade Kyler Murray or not, I think we're minimum weeks away from seeing Kyler Murray again. Minimum. I don't know how anybody can sit here and say, like, Kyler Murray's back and he's going to play and everything's fine. They had their chance. They could have said that this week.
Mm-hmm.
This is all in the caveat that he's healthy, which we believe. We believe he's fully healthy or close to it. Everybody, it's November. Everybody's banged up in the NFL.
Yeah.
Everybody's got nicks and bumps and bruises and sore muscles. And it's just like, I'm sure they're leaning in now on the injury report. Like, let's call this what it is. This is just them having their cake and eat it too with Jacoby Brissett. We're getting to your super chats, but first we're going into overtime and we're going to read the results of the poll as the Arizona Cardinals attempt to save face against the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, OT here.
Do you want to do some Star Wars
to the poll now?
Sound effects, some lasers, some lightsaber sound effects.
Meow. Poll results: 134 votes. You ready for this?
Yeah.
75%, 134 believe Cardinals are soft benching Kyler Murray. I think that's the general consensus on Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, I sent you a couple things. And again, people can brush this off. These are guys with national platforms, national followings.
Yeah.
Josh Norris, who's friend of the show. He's got 115,000 subscribers. Does this for a living. Jacoby Brissett, QB1. Greg Rosenthal, who's got a monster following.
Josh Norris not tapped into the Cardinals organization whatsoever.
Yeah, but I just
speculating.
But all of this like how the Cardinals are handling it is all leading people in one direction.
Sure.
Greg Rosenthal, who hosts a daily podcast for the NFL, 250,000 followers. Yeah, I'm assuming this means he's benched for Jacoby, which is a pretty big moment in the Jonathan Gannon era.
And then also he backpedaled that a little bit when he saw he was limited in practice.
If the Cardinals are playing Jacoby over Kyler, regardless of Kyler's status, they're going to list him as limited. They're milking that for everything they can. That's my opinion. And again, I would play Kyler. I'm not of the mindset, like, if Kyler looks healthy, throw him out there, let him get some mojo against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyler Murray gives you the best chance to win these last 10 games. I don't believe them when they say, like, if he's out this week, I don't believe them when they say, oh yeah, it's his foot. His foot's not healed yet. He's out a month. How much time do you need?
We didn't anticipate it lingering on this long, that's for sure. Let's get to your super chats here on a Football Friday / Halloween. We got some super chats. Noah, if we could just, I'll just follow your lead. How about Cord Oso, $4.99? I will be at the game, hoping to watch my King Kyler tear up the Cowboys D. Brissett would make brisket out of this defense as well.
I think this is like a stat padding game for anybody who wants in, assuming that they play well.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really preview this game. We're going to talk about it Monday on the pregame show, and Bo's going to be in Dallas. But, like, besides the quarterback position, like, the Cardinals have such a immense amount of pressure to play well in this game, like all 53 men. Coaches, players, offense, defense, like, any part of them that doesn't look buttoned up, it's an indictment on their process the last 15 days.
Yeah. That'd be great to see. Arizona Cardinals, Johnny, $4.99. Like Boba Fett, this coaching staff should be fed to the sand monster. Spoilers for us.
The Sarlacc pit. They want to put him on Java's sail barge, walk him out to the Dune Sea, and feed him to the Sarlacc pit monster.
Nerd.
Yeah, big time.
However, if you believe the myths and the stories, Boba Fett, the lone man to escape the Sarlacc pit. So let's see if Jonathan Gannon can do his best. Boba Fett on Monday Night Football and escape the clutches of being fired at 6-2 or 2-6.
Oh my God. Mo AZ Cards fan, $9.99. Thank you, Mo. Rallis fall from grace is one of the biggest mysteries of this shit show of a season. JV had me drinking the Kool-Aid about how great with the roster additions our defense could be. What happened?
My bad. I can't excuse this coaching. Coaching's been bad. I was talking to somebody on the phone last night, and it was just like, hey, why is the defense so terrible in the fourth quarter? Because they're not coaching well enough. They have good players.
Yeah, I mean, quarters 1 through 3, they look really good. They look buttoned up. They look like a good defense. They get off the field plenty. Fourth quarter hits. Is it negative 47 as far as the point differential? It's unbelievable. So it's not like they're incapable. They just got to do it in the fourth quarter. Keeping it going, Miles Johnson, $5. The front office and coaching is conservative. Big time fourth quarter problem there. And scared to have bad news. They coach the players to play scared as well. Cowards, coaching staff.
It's a big indictment on defensive head coaches that a lot of them play not to lose and are ultra conservative. And unfortunately, a lot of the typical defensive head coaching tropes are plaguing Jonathan Gannon this year. Issues with the offense, inconsistencies with the quarterback, playing, very vanilla defenses. Like they are not the killers that we were promised. And people are going to hold that against JG.
Yeah. Jack wrapping us up here, $1.99. I agree. Ban Noah.
That's rude.
Your actions, they deserve it. You should be fed to the sand monster or whatever the hell.
It's not what it's called. Put on my rangefinder here as we wrap up a very special holiday show.
Not very smooth there.
Ladies love it. Hit that like button.
What is the rangefinder? He's like, you can see distances on golf courses?
No, that is not it. It's when I have my jetpack on that I can fire off my rocket on my jetpack.
Looks like this is about, about 170 to the pin.
Let me get my wedge. Yeah, my batteries ran out. Usually there's a sweet red light that I wish I was rocking right now, but we will soldier on. And Bo is headed out east to Dallas with our friends at Bird Gang Travel. Bo, let the folks know what they can expect from your coverage this weekend.
That's right. Going to be catching up with all those great people that decided to choose Bird Gang Travel to travel, watch their favorite team. Can't wait to see everybody out there, along with Tyre, the whole crew. Another banner trip with Bird Gang Travel expected. I'm leaving Sunday. I think they were already headed out there as early as today. So there's going to be festivities Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. The tailgate's going to be epic going into the Jerry Dome. And then the seats I've seen for everybody that booked with Bird Gang Travel are unbelievable. If you didn't get in on it this year, the trips to New Orleans and Dallas, make sure you get in it next year. Bird Gang Travel, birdgangtravel.com.
Happy Halloween to everybody. If you celebrate, we appreciate all of you. And, we had a beat meeting earlier today. And this team may be letting us down, but we're going to be with you every step of the way.
Yeah.
If the Cardinals implode, we'll be talking future head coaches, GMs, and quarterbacks. And God forbid if they get it together, Bo, we'll be with you. And don't forget, Monday, we've got pregame starting at 5 o'clock. Myself, Britton Golden in studio, followed swiftly by a complete watch-along for 4 quarters. People wanted it. It's back. We're going to have the cast of characters, Espo, Shane Diefenbach, Noah. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to have live hits from Bo from Dallas.
Yeah.
And, of course, halftime and postgame. It is, I feel like with record aside, it's one of the most important games for the future of this franchise that I can remember.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 6 o'clock with the clocks changing around the country on Saturday, Sunday. Monday Night Football locally is going to be now kicking off at 6:30. So, but make sure you're following along on your social channels, PHX_Cardinals I'll have insight from the facility tomorrow. One more day of practice. One more maybe facade or actual info as far as what's going on with this quarterback position. Follow along at Johnny Venerable, at Bo Brack. Stay safe out there if you're trick-or-treating or enjoying the Halloween holiday. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you. Look for the content at PHNX Sports on YouTube. We'll talk to you on Monday, barring any breaking news. Talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.